Alright, here we go. Welcome back to another Sunday video mga Kanoy P. Grabe ang nangyari nung Biyernes. Yes, sir. Kung nagte-trade ka ng gold, especially XAU USD, no, kasi may mga ETF versions niyan, may dalawang malaking bagay na kailangan natin pag-usapan ngayon mga Kanoy P. Unang-una, yung latest jobs report or NFP. Number two, syempre yung ongoing US-Iran conflict. When you put this together, interesting picture yan for gold. Yan, sa nakikita nyo sa taas, no? Biglang nag-spike. Ano nga ba nangyari? Because normally, kapag may war, automatic sasabihin ng mga traders, gold is safe haven, gold should go up. Pero hindi ganun kasimple yun. Because the same conflict that can push gold higher can also create inflation, especially through higher oil prices. So ngayon, ang question ay, is gold actually bullish? Or baka naman, overextended na tayo after Friday's massive move. So i-breakdown natin yan, no? Pero bago ang lahat, intro muna tayo, brah. Sa mga kanoypi natin na hinahanap ako sa Facebook, makikita niyo ako by searching
FX Noipy,
at sa YouTube and TikTok by searching
Forex Noipy.
Alright, what's up mga kanoypi? Welcome back to another video. Bago tayo magsimula mga kanoypi, trading disclaimer muna tayo, no? Quick disclaimer lang. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, ha? Hindi ito financial advice, okay? And should not be considered a recommendation to buy or sell gold, forex, or any financial instrument. Tandaan nyo, trading involves substantial risk and you can lose money. So always do your own research, manage your risk properly, and never trade money you cannot afford to lose. Simulan na natin sa nakikita nyo dito sa taas. Nung Biyernes, ano nga bang nangyari? Tingnan natin, kaboom! Inaasahan ng market, 85K. Tapos, nagkaroon pa ng revision from 57K, bumaba pa kamo yung jobs to 20K. Tapos, negative 23K. Ang lala nito mga kanoypi. Ang lala ng NFP talagang sumabog. Okay. The headline number was pretty shocking. Nakakaurat yun. The US economy lost ha, hindi pa nadagdagan, nawala. Lost 23,000 jobs in July. Grabe. So instead of creating jobs, the US economy actually lost jobs. That's already a major warning sign. Okay? But here's where it gets more interesting dahil yun nga, yung previous month, nagkaroon pa ng revision. So, parang kung titingnan mo, talagang lumagapak. No? So, kung pagsasamahin mo yung downward revisions kasama yung nabawas, roughly 103,000 fewer jobs yung nai-report compared sa previous estimates. And that's important, no? Kasi hindi lang isang buwan yung mahina. Talagang nakakakita tayo ng weakness across multiple months. Okay? Ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin yung metric dito sa baba. Unemployment rate became better. Diba? Bumaba yung unemployment eh. Now, here's where things gets interesting, no? Hindi sila nag-file ng unemployment claims, kaya bumaba yung unemployment and it becomes good for the dollar. Pero the unemployment rate, when it actually went down from 4.2 to 4.1, baka isipin mo, wait, kung bumaba ang unemployment, hindi ba ibig sabihin gumaganda ang ekonomiya? Not necessarily, mga kanoypi. Kailangan mong tingnan yung buong picture. You have to look at the bigger picture kasi one number that caught my attention in the labor force is the participation rate. Okay? bumaba ito sa around 61.4%. Ibig sabihin yung nag-participate, bumaba talaga to 61.4%. So, possible na partly kaya hindi tumaas ng malaki yung unemployment rate is because fewer people only actually participated in the labor market. Okay? Meaning, hindi sapat na tingnan lang natin yung unemployment rate. You have to look at growth payroll, job revisions, labor force participation, and the overall unemployment trend. Actually, kahit nga tingnan mo tong hourly average earnings bumaba rin yung mga sweldo ng mga tao. Okay? Ngayon, kung titingnan naman natin kung ano naging epekto niyan sa gold, ayan yung nangyari sa gold, mga kanoypi. Bakit bullish ang gold sa weak jobs data? Mga tanong natin, no? So, let's connect the dots, mga kanoypi. Kapag mahina ang jobs data, the market will start to think maybe the Federal Reserve needs to become more dovish. Ibig sabihin, wag mo nang magtaas ng interest rate. And potentially, maybe we could see rate cuts. Potentially sa pananaw ko medyo malabo yun, pero I'm just telling you what the market interprets it for. Kapag bumaba ang expectations for interest rates, usually pwedeng bumaba rin ang treasury yields. And potentially, humina ang dollar. So tingnan nga naman natin ano ba nangyari sa DXY yung Biyernes. Ayan ang nangyari. Meron tayong bearish candle nun yung Biyernes. No? Tingnan din natin kung ano nangyari sa 2-year yield. Pati sa 10-year yield. Pareha sila. Nag-bearish sila nung Biyernes. Ayan, no? That's the 2-year yield. So, tama nga, di ba? So, kasi nangyari yon, gold becomes more attractive. Ayan nangyari kay gold. Di ba? Bakit nga ba? Kasi even gold doesn't pay interest, right? So, kapag mataas ang interest rate ng bond yields, mas mataas ang opportunity cost ng paghawak ng gold. Pero kapag nag-expect ang market ng lower rates, bumababa ang opportunity cost. So suddenly, gold becomes more attractive. That's one of the reasons why gold reacted strongly nung Biyernes after the NFP report. Okay? Ngayon, idagdag natin ang US-Iran conflict. Okay? Now, let's add the second major factor, yung US-Iran conflict. And this is where things become really interesting. Kasi gold is traditionally considered a safe haven asset. Okay? Kapag may geopolitical uncertainty, kapag may possibility ng military escalation, at kapag kinakabahan ng investors tungkol sa global economy, usually may tendency na lumipat ang capital or pera towards defensive assets. And gold is one of them. Okay? So, kung lalo pang mag-escalate ang conflict between US and Iran, that could create additional demand for gold. Okay? Pero hindi lang geopolitical risk ang problema dito. Okay? May isa pang issue. Ano yon? Oil. Okay? Specifically, dahil sa Strait of Hormuz. So, pag pumunta tayo sa US oil, makikita natin, ganyan ang itsura na on a daily chart. Right? Bakit importante ba ang Strait of Hormuz? For those who are not familiar with it, the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important energy choke points in the world. Okay, kapag nagkaroon ng major disruption doon, time out, oil prices will spike kasi kokonti ang maisusupply na langis. Okay? At tataas talaga yung presyo ng langis. Taas na nga dito sa Pinas di ba? And kapag tumaas ang oil prices, there's a potential inflation problem. Okay? And that is where it becomes complicated with gold. So talaga mga kanoypi, ang tanong talaga dito titigil na ba dyan ang rally ng gold? Kasi the US-Iran war is not over. Okay? Kasi Normally, we think pag war, gold will go up. Pero hindi palaging ganun. Because the war can create two opposing forces. Okay? Force number 1, safe haven demand. Ayan. So kung wala namang disruption sa oil at talagang gera patani lang ang labanan, edi kapag tumaas ang uncertainty, investors become more defensive. Diyan pumapasok si gold. Diyan nahangat si gold. More geopolitical risk. More fear, more uncertainty, and that can push investors to buy gold. Okay? Ngayon, US-Iran escalation, more uncertainty, more safe haven demand, bullish gold. Simple, di ba? Pero may secondary force. At ito yung kailangan nating bantayan. Dahil the force number 2 is oil is equivalent to inflation. Okay? Pag tumaas ang oil, it is inflationary. If the conflict causes oil prices to rise significantly, pwedeng tumaas ang inflation expectation. At kabag naging malaking problema ulit ang inflation, yan na, the Federal Reserve may become less willing to cut interest rates. And that's where things can turn against gold. Kaya ako sinasabi na ano kayang pwedeng mangyari? Pwede kayang bumaba na si gold o tataas? Diba? Kaya ako talagang gusto kong makita kung anong nangyayari sa US-Iran eh. At least nagtatanong ako, nagbabasa ako last 8 hours, ano nangyayari? Okay? Because the higher inflation expectations can lead to expectations for higher for longer interest rates. So, tandaan niya, mataas ang interest rates. Pagka tumaas ang interest rates, babagsak yung gold. Kasi hindi naman attractive sa mga investors ang gold eh. Siyempre, dun sila sa interest bearing na mataas. Okay? Kasi tataas yung treasury yield. Diba? And potentially, the dollar also higher. And those two can put pressure on gold. Pwede bumagsak. Diba? Kaya medyo conflicting tayo ngayon. So, hindi pwedeng sabihin simple lang. Iran war equals gold will go up. Hindi pwedeng ganon. That's lazy analysis. The real question is, ano ang mas nangingibabaw sa market? Safe haven demand ba or inflation and higher rate expectations? Okay? Pero sa ngayon, ano sa palagay ko? Ako lang to ang mas malakas. And this is where I really currently lean bullish. Because we just received a very weak labor report. So meron tayong weak employment, meron tayong large downtrend revisions, meron tayong cooling labor market, potentially more pressure sa Federal Reserve to become dovish. At the same time, we have geopolitical uncertainty, US-Iran tensions, Hormuz concerns, and potential safe haven demand. So kapag pinagsama mo lahat, ang overall macro backdrop is currently, for me lang, bullish for gold. Okay? But, ito malaking but malaking puwet. Don't ever chase gold. Yes, the Friday's move was already very strong and people might think, ito na yun, pasok na tayo dito sa resistance. Let's buy on the resistance level. Diba? Oo, gold rallied aggressively after the jobs report. And kapag ganito kalaki yung initial move, hindi ibig sabihin na dapat habulin mo agad. In fact, that's exactly where traders are getting trapped. Nakikita nila yung malaking green candle, in my case, puti. Naisip nila, gold is going up. Buy, tatatatatat, and boom! Biglang nagre-retrace. Bigla palang magre-retrace doon bago aakyat. Patay. Stop loss hit. Diba? Wag ganon. Okay. Ngayon, ako specifically, ako meron na akong position sa gold. Okay? Meron na akong position sa gold. I'll show you that. Give me just a moment.
3 hours later.
Alright, so what I'm showing here is my IBKR account. This is a non-leveraged account and papakita ko sa inyo yung positions ko dito. Isa dito ay GLD, which I already bought 2 shares. And I bought that... Saan ba? 1 minute chart. Daily tayo. I bought that here at 379.89. So, pag pupunta ako sa GLD, dito yon. Yan, yung puting linya na yan. Diyan. So, that here, roughly 4.79% na ako sa gold. Okay? So, may position na ako sa ginto. Okay? Ngayon, ang gusto kong pakita sa inyo is yung equivalent niyan dito sa XAU USD. Dito ako bumili. Right here. So, anong gagawin ko? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait it out. What I want to see is for gold to break this resistance level. If gold breaks that resistance level and goes upside, if I see gold retrace here, I will add to my position. Or, if I see gold retrace here, I will add to my position. Okay? That's what I plan to do. Again, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, this is not trading advice. Kung gusto nyong sundin, bahala kayo dyan. Hindi ko kayo sagot. Basta sinasabi ko lang sa inyo, ganun ang gagawin ko. Okay? Alright. Ngayon, sinabi ko na kung anong pwedeng mangyari. Sa palagay ko, pwede rin mag-consolidate yan for a few days and then make some decisions, go up or whatnot, diba? Pero ang importante kasi dito, mga Kanoy P, is risk management. Okay? Remember the trade setup and not the story. Okay? Kasi baka bigla kayong porket narinig nyo fundamentally bullish, bigla kayong magbibili ngayon, di ba? Always remember your rules. Okay? And most importantly, protect your capital. Kasi your goal is not to predict every move. The goal is to survive long enough. Okay? To capitalize when the high probability setup actually appears. Alright? So, yun lamang po mga Kanoy P. Kung may nagustuhan ka dito kahit konti sa video na to, makiki-like naman at makiki-comment down below para matulungan naman at ma-inspire naman ako kahit paano na gumawa ng mga gitong video, no? Alright mga Kanoy P, salamat sa panonood. I will see you on my next video.